Until Hanover is restored to that peaceful parish that it once was, we will be managing the holding of events in these places. So some places that we know are prone to crime, we do not allow events. Green Island is one such. What I would recommend is that you communicate with the police as one of the first initiatives when you're going to hold an event. That way, you are in a much better position to know whether or not your event will be held or will be given permission to be held. When I arrived last year, September, we had a no event system in place where we didn't allow parties at all for Hanover because the crime situation was really bad at the time. Last year, we ended up having the worst year, the bloodiest year in Hanover, 72 murders for the entire year. That was at least 68% more than 2022. That system that we had in place paid dividends because we saw a reduction for that period. September, October, November, saw a significant reduction, a pullback in terms of the figures. But we realized that we cannot hold that in place simply because of how much income is generated, legitimate income generated from these events. So what we're doing now, we are managing these events as best as we can. So some places that we know are prone to crime, we do not allow events. Green Island is one such. What we might find is that persons who see the law as a shackle will try to circumvent the systems that we have in place and keep their parties wherever, whenever. Our teams on the ground are mandated to prosecute these individuals whenever it is that they come across them. For each weekend, we are aware and we publicize it to the teams on patrol where the parties are being held. Legitimate parties that have been given permission. Any party outside of these areas need to be prosecuted. So where's a party being held and it is not sanctioned by us, the police, it simply means that the teams on the ground may not be aware of it or they may be in compliance with those persons who are breaking the law. Bring it to our attention. That is the key thing that must be done. Close the communication loop. Call 119, bring it to our attention. These events usually are put on by persons who don't want to abide by law. And of course, the proceeds from these events will go to further their criminal intent. So it is very important that citizens don't put up with it. When you call the 119, nobody knows who you are. And we are mandated to respond, especially when you call 119. So don't sit and stay in the discomfort. Call us and let us know what is happening in your neck of the woods so we can treat with it. The process is really to pay the relevant fees to municipal corporation, JCAP, and to apply in writing to the police at least 10 days before the date of the event. That will facilitate an investigation where you can be communicated with in short order so that you can, if the event is not going to be allowed from the police end, you can have enough time to withdraw from whatever expenditure you wanted to do. But the law is a minimum of 10 days. What I would recommend is that you communicate with the police as one of the first initiatives when you're going to hold an event. That way, you are in a much better position to know whether or not your event will be held or will be given permission to be held. First, instead of leaving the police for the last, you consider whether or not you're going to be getting the event permitted in the first place. And then you can do the other things before. When the permission is granted, you get a document from us in writing to say what the stipulations are. And usually it's for the event to end at midnight. If it is one of those maybe risky events, we insist that police personnel are present for the event. What is also relevant is that some of these events might be in honor of criminals. And when our intelligence gives us that feedback, we deny the event. Persons who have been killed by police in criminal confrontation, we do not grant permission for these events. For places where we know that crime, violent crime especially, is on our radar, we do not grant permission for events in these areas. Until Hanover is restored to that peaceful parish that it once was, we will be managing the holding of events in these places very closely. We want to restore the peaceful nature of Hanover, and it is possible, but we cannot do it without the help of the communities that we serve.